And he left the studio and went to the yard, and no security had any problem with his vehicle. And, he said, boy, I can't believe I fell for that. I can't believe I fell for that. And we had a very good laugh about it. So many things I could tell you about Tony Paul, like one time parked in VG Crescent going to visit somebody. And just when I was turning, I saw this guy all decked up in his football gear, his studs and his shin guard and his long knee-high socks and so on, and everything of a footballer. And then I realized it was Tony, looking young as always, a few years older than me, but I'm sure I look a lot older and more beaten up and worn than Tony was. And he explained to me that they had this regular meeting at the back of the college where he and guys of his age, seniors, veterans, whatever, would meet to play some football. So Tony took care of himself where exercise was concerned. If he had a little drink once in a while, no more than anybody else, I'm sure, in that spirit, in the socializing that he was always good for and so on. I am so sad. And Tony, like me, has some history in the media in Antigua. Tony worked for one of the most popular radio stations owned by the Byrd family. Yes, the Byrd family of deceased former Prime Minister Lester Byrd and his brother Ivor Byrd. And he was a DJ, announcer at ZDK Radio for some time. And a lot of people, you just have to mention to them the Groove Master. Yeah, that's how that was his radio name in Antigua, the Groove Master. And they will remember Tony Paul. He was entertaining there as he has been here. And when I heard the news, one of the first persons I could think of messaging to tell him that was Sean Byrd, the son of Ivor Byrd, nephew of Lester Byrd, grandson of Sir Cornwall Byrd Sr., the first Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, what many people would consider the founding father of the modern nation of Antigua. And the first thing he said is that, you're joking. He can't believe that at all. And Sean Byrd was stunned. We had we developed an acquaintance while I was there, visited him at his office and so on, and he absolutely could not believe the news, as I'm sure many people could not. I am so sorry, and I want to extend my condolences to his family, including and especially the other person that I know, as well as I know him through being in the media. Although we never actually worked together, by the time I got to Radio St. Lucia, he'd already moved on to work with the new Helen television. Well, HTS was not that new, but Radio 100 Helen FM. I'm talking about the veteran broadcaster Andre Paul and all of the members of his family, as I am sure they must be struggling to come to terms with this loss, this sudden, untimely loss of Tony Paul. It's my understanding that it's looking like a heart attack. I don't know that any postmortem autopsy has been done. But what I was told is that they were having their regular meeting together, the friends and so on, the club members, the veterans, whatever they were, at the Leclerc playing field, when they decided, hey guys, why don't we have a race? Why don't we race against each other? A little sprint and so on. I'm sure they never fancied themselves to be in the league of a Julian Alfred or a J.D. Emmanuel or anything like that. They decided, for fun. The guys would dance, they would play music. And I'm seeing a video clip talking about Antigua of Tony's on a chair with a drink in his hand and really enjoying himself to King Shot Shirts, I know the song, I can't even remember the name. Lord, I search and I search, but I can't find, when will the poor man, and King Shot Shirt of Antigua, Sir McLean Emmanuel, knighted now, etc., who performed in St. Lucia, by the way, at the National Cultural Center not too long ago. But they decided to have this race, and they started, they're sprinting, they're running as best as guys in their age group can do. And Tony had not gotten very far when he collapsed. That's what I'm told. Look at a guy like that, who kept himself trim and fit and so on. You barely would see any little tummy or anything on Tony Paul. A tall guy, good looking, well spoken and so on. And look at that. Nothing is ever guaranteed for us. Nothing is ever promised in terms of life expectancy. We can be gone just like that. But we can be prepared. And I'm not talking about your relationship with God. I'm talking about how people remember you, how you interacted with them, how you were perceived by them. Because I doubt there'll be more than the amount of fingers you have on a hand in people totally would say anything bad about Tony Paul. The kind of guy he was a likable guy. He liked people. He didn't seem to ever carry any sourness, any grudges about him. And so I'm confident that Tony Paul will be well remembered. There'll be good memories of him by more people, far more people than there ever will be those who would have any negative recollections of him. Terry.
Well, Shelton, I just came from the studios of Rev Up because I wanted to meet Andre in person. You know, sometimes there are certain things you don't send a message. You know, there are things that, no, so I went there personally. I tried to get him over the weekend. He called back, but when he called, I was in the water swimming. And then it was difficult. I'm surprised he's holding up well. He did his program this morning and he says he'll be back at 5 to do the Powell Politique with Mary. I'm like, wow, man, strong. But while I was there, we had a debriefing of a psychiatrist or psychologist. And when I reflect on it, I got to know him a few years back. I can't say exactly how long. And we were always on friendly terms. And even while I took up the stint at Rev FM in April, after greeting the ladies in the front, I'll go to his office where we sat for a while and he will tell me, well, man, I think you need to respond to this. This came in, this person said that, etc. And we always had this exchange, always. On Friday, I left the studio. He was in high spirits. We exchanged our pleasantries. And as always, you know, we left on a good note, hoping to see each other back on Friday, doing my stint. And on Saturday morning, bright and early, I got a call, like you, and I was stunned. I was in shock because from all the indications, he never complained of being unwell. No health issues as far as we know. And so the suddenness of this was, heartbreaking. It touched you. Because a good guy, very nice guy, very affable guy, always jovial. He loved his football, his cricket, fun-loving, larger than life. And to be snapped away like that, not ill or anything. So the media fraternity is in mourning. As I left the studio, quite a few of them were coming in, journalists and media workers, to have some me time, some downtime with Andre. So I could say on behalf of Shelton and the NBC family, we would like to convey our condolences to Andre and his family on the passing of Tony Paul.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Terry. I try to, as we remember Tony Paul, I absolutely do not like transitioning from the solemn mood that hangs like a thick and heavy shroud and blanket over you. And you have to remember a man on his sudden passing, like Tony Paul. But life has to go on.
Yeah.
I have to tell you something, even though I don't have the clip. I said Terry is probably coming with so much material after not just a weekend, but a Friday when he wasn't with us. And there's a guy who I think you know very well, or know of him very well, who I believe on the same radio station where Tony last worked, or maybe somewhere else, I think some other station, was insinuating that he's going to be taking legal action against you and I. But apparently this guy can't get his story straight. This guy seems to be saying I was not in a certain place on a certain Thursday, not last week, I think the week before. When I happened to be there, by the way, you remember that Thursday I was there? You and I were together for some time. I went to the balcony. I sat close to Honorable Richard Frederick. I remember retired acting Chief Justice of the OECS, former Minister Mario Michel was there in that little place on the balcony. I could mention another, but I'm mentioning the public figures. I saw a video clip of that certain guy seeming to be exchanging some pleasantries, even to the point of an embrace with the MP for Grozile, Honorable Kenson Kazime. I heard of other things that I didn't see interactions. But he claimed that he was at an executive meeting that night, that he was not at the cricket, that he was this and that and the other, and no such confrontation as is being alleged between him and a certain gentleman took place. I said, if you're going to sue me, and you're going to sue Terry, for our so-called or supposed innuendo and insinuations of your involvement in improper communication, with a minor, or whatever. I don't think we ever said anything. We just, we never mentioned names. Then at least get your story straight in terms of your alibi, in terms of where you were at the time. Because on the one hand, you yourself saying that you were at the cricket, another time you saying you were not there, another time there's evidence to show you were there, all of the things. And at the same time, as I said on Friday in a conversation with Anson Maxwell, you were the one who came forward and raised your hand and said, it's me. You were the man who did that. If there was insinuation and innuendo, you came forward and you self-identified that the allegations, whatever, were about you. You are the one who also came forward and took ownership, of the allegations in terms of self-identifying as being the object or target of the allegations. But let us say that notwithstanding. But you mean to tell me on top of that, you all mixed up, you're more mixed up than Timothy Mangal about whether it is to the right or the left, or whether it is on this side or that side or whatever. You're even more confused, You're even more confused than Spider about whether, and I know you're a Seventh-day Adventist, I know you don't drink, whether gin, or whether the gin is Gordon's, whether it is Lodson's, whether it is Tanqueray or Bombay or whatever. I don't know, I'm persuaded of those things about you, that certain things you don't do, but then I just could be wrong, I just could be wrong. But you're just as confused or more confused than Spider about whether you want to right the wrongs or whether you want to wrong the rights, or Titus saying SLP, whatever, when he meant UWP. I mean, come on, you were supposed to be the one with the clear mind, the clear-headed one, to have clarity of thought and clarity of speech, and a sound mind, But you come in and you getting it also mixed up and also wrong. What's that going to say about you?
Credibility.
What impression is that going to say? You mentioned about insinuation. What does that insinuate about you? Terry.
Everybody said, boy, fellow, I thought was somebody on the nice coast. Leave it like that. All of us. Now, let's identify the three things. Now, Spider, I believe you were sober in that interview. Because you should have picked up the different accounts of his whereabouts. You asked a direct question. He told you, I was at an executive meeting. In the same interview, just a few minutes after, what did he say? I was in the corporate box with the owner. In the same interview, he comes and says, I was down with Simple, and they were booing Simple, and everybody was embracing me. Come on. And then your leader posts a picture of you, himself, and somebody else. What's the story, man? Guilty conscience. We never called you. I threw my corn. But we know the facts. And Shelton, if you trusted me, I could make one call, because it says the messages are AI generated. I can make one call. And you see that one call? That person will tell you, Fenelon, I have all the messages. I read all the messages. And I screenshotted. I can do that live on air if I want to, Live, now. The person is not afraid to identify because that person wants the police to arrest you. Because he has said it is not now that he has that. So we did not have AI before the Americans, okay? AI is not a recent, but in terms of usage.
And when it comes to AI, we all know who using AI.
Yeah, that's right.
We all know who using AI to show earnestly assaulted a woman and didn't just assault her, he shoved her to the ground, and AI to show a much denser crowd at Miku than there ever was on this. We know who using AI. We know who using AI to try to play on the minds of people and to do that. The St. Lucia Labour Party and those who support it don't need to use AI, boss man. We don't need that.
We good.
You know, from since in opposition, that march that they had on the Castries waterfront, and afterwards the Walk for Progress and so on. You know, what was it again? The youth rally that they had in January. Whatever it is and so on, it is always massive. You know, and when I tell you massive, I mean massive. Standing room only. You can't find space in a Labour Party thing. What AI? What AI are you talking about? You know. Who pulling out people and so on? Labour Party don't need to do that. You know, anyway.
Shelton, if you permit me to make that call.
Who you going to call? Okay.
Think about it.
Let's leave it a little later. Okay?
Leave it a little later.
Yeah, leave it a little later. We almost at the point.
I will shatter this because AI. Guys, don't get effect.
Yeah, we almost
go to court and let us everything I'm going to open up. Yeah, because last time again I got more evidence of more things. Now, I rest there because I want to tackle. Now, I didn't come to the lot. A while ago, I just see on my phone that, you know, we have been asking them for their policies, so they released 7. I'm going to rip that apart. You understand? There are other things I came to do, you know, Shelton. Because last night, we coming. We were at François. Oh, man. Let's play one of the videos. You have 2 videos there. 8 seconds, and 1, 2. You know, listen to while you're making a noise and the distraction. We had François Saturday and Sunday with the young people. I won't pay any one of them. They're the first 3. Let's say from the young people and one elderly gentleman. Well, he's not very eloquent, you know, but you could get the gist of what he's saying. Let's run that.
I think that it's very lovely that football came back to Fosso. You know, we had a home of football genuinely, and yeah, it's a great experience to come back and play football once again. I think that it's very lovely that football came back to Fosso. You know, we had a home of football genuinely, and yeah, it's a great experience to come back and play football.
What do you think about football happening again in Fosso?
I feel like football happening again in Fosso is a great opportunity for the youth to showcase their talents.
So tell me, what do you think about football happening again in Fosso?
It's a wonderful thing. It is a pleasure to see people turn out, games happening, and without anybody saying things doesn't happen at Fosso, things has happened. And it's a pleasure to see from one candidate to somebody that is willing to continue the work, is doing what, you understand, he have to do, and it is a pleasure. And there is no problem between the 2 people. It's like everything have to happen, you understand, because let me tell you, the young people, that's what they want, you understand. Forget about other people that is saying, well, it is not happening, but I know for a fact, as somebody that is living in the constituency, it is happening. Okay, so it is a pleasure for me to be here, just to enjoy the ambience, to enjoy what is happening, to enjoy the fact that somebody that is representing us can do what they have to do to make sure that the young people is in charge and the young people is following from what somebody left. Okay, and I appreciate the fact that Philippe Depierre has done his work, and he has done so much to make sure that the youth is important, and when the youth is important, everybody is alright. Because that is a situation we have here in this island. This island of St. Lucia is a place where people normally say the youth have gone wrong. So I'm saying they have not gone wrong, because there is things in place so that they can be alright. Okay? So what I'm saying, let us continue with what is happening without any problem, without compromising what is happening. If you put let me say it as that, if you put the United Workers' Party in power, you know what is happening? We're going way back, and I do not want that. what I want my children and the children that is prospering from what is happening to just...
Yes, folks, there you have it. That's just a few of the testimonials. You know, the football competition is back. The community is breathing again. There's life. And John Paul, you know, we're breathing life. Titus, they told me to tell you the 5 empty bags you bought at SNS to bring to the school. I mean, they accepted that. But come on, man, you could have done better. Facilities fees have been paid for all students, all right? So, I mean, you brought 5 empty bags. You could have put a little tablet in that. Go buy Voyager. There are tablets for $250, $295. Put, you know, do something. You brought 5 empty bags. Man, your politics is so last decade. Be moving ahead, man. You know, you should have said, well, okay, the grade 6 students, you put a little thumb drive in that, a little tablet and stuff, because, you know, they have broadband, they have, so they can do their work. But you brought 5 empty bags. Your vid. That's the politics you're playing. You're all in the gutter, cleaning gutter. Titus, I not waste my time on you guys. So we almost time for the break, Shelton.
Yes.
And then after, I'll look at, I did not come to look at your policies, but I'm seeing them then I realize, well, that's the gimmicks, because I'm going to ask you, how are you going to pay for these things?
This is The Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters. We take our first commercial break, and Terry has already told you what direction we're taking. When we come back, I can tell you he can't wait.
Yeah.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place, Denry Highway. Arlette Supermarket, Soufre. The Release Stress Bar, Labrie Highway. Cool Joint Bar, Victoria Schwazel. Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
No sooner than someone sent a message saying, you guys look great in that color, and I'm getting one from Cornelia. Somebody go and check on Cornelia. Somebody, who knows where she lives or where she might be at this time. Go check on her. Something is seriously not good with Cornelia. And I don't want next thing she's having some kind of, I don't want to say something. That she's having some kind of incident, some kind of crisis, some kind of illness. That she says, am I colorblind? I see you dressed in yellow. And also Terry. Once you see us dressed in yellow, animator, yes. Now you make it a program like Terry. Boldest and must have in check us. All right, and I think it was in response to me saying about, Guy Joseph unable to get his story straight. Spider talking about wronging the right and all this kind of boo-boos, that they're making. And someone said, Prudent presenting Benson Emil as the candidate for View 40. Not being able to get it with South is right, whether it's View 40 South or Denry South or whatever. Don't you worry, your candidate for Miku South gonna get it. Just like the one for View 40 South and the one for Denry South. None of the Souths coming to you all. Casper South, go to here. Angie Kedu says, ask them to call a youth rally if they think they man. See your kwe nom. See your dio nom. Angie Dizot, kuyon youth rally. Pozo we si sakai konye. Pwe! Konsa SLP had just the other day in Tenry North. Terry, go ahead.
I'm there talking to a guy there, a colleague of mine. You'll lose the election, Gasso. You know people will win. And he calling seats to me. He has a crystal ball.
Yeah.
All right, Gade. I won't call your name on air. But you see, people get carried away with, when they see a little turnout.
Yeah. And which turnout? A turnout from all over the island. You all pull people into Miku North and so on and this sort of thing.
I have told you already, the biggest motorcade I witnessed, I don't know for you,
tell me,
was Southeast Castries in the last election.
Okay.
About 200 vehicles, And a friend said to me, boy, when he passed a certain place, after that motorcade, he saw this guy there having a meeting and there were about 200 people there. He said, oi, when he went lower down, he saw Joachim, it was just 12 people. He said, I said, no, can't do it like Labour Party support. No, can't do it like I said, this happened. The two, he was whipped badly. People don't get carried away. People you see how I showed you the two young people? There are more testimonials. The young people understand. Nobody will be voting against themselves. I could guarantee you. You see the people who went to Miku there who were paid, bought support. When it is crunch time and they look at the two fellow leaders, the Prime Minister, measured and prudent, steady and reckless, and I'm going to show you what reckless is in a while. There's no choice, brother man. You're not going to vote against. You think a pensioner will vote against himself? The pensioners have been won the same salary for 20 years, for more. All increases to 77, they got no attention. As St. Philip Pierre came in, he says, no, that cannot be right. Let's rectify that. Pensioners are now getting increases and bonuses and things. And you think they'll vote against themselves? Teachers will vote against themselves? I mean, there are some policemen that will vote against themselves, yes, because, they're entrenched. But by and large, you could see that this is a man making an effort to ensure that the police have bulletproof vests for every police officer. Do you think they will vote against themselves? National Trust, Blind Welfare Association, those people who have plywood houses where they have the distress fund, you're going to go and vote against yourself? You're going to go and vote for a man who has done absolutely nothing for you in the almost 6 years he was in office? I mean, come on, be reasonable. Think, man, critically. This man did all he did was give our money away to people who look like him. He did nothing for you. So for this guy, a teacher who tells me, man, on that you're just going to vote UWP because you don't care. I mean, something has to be very wrong with the great matter, man. You're not thinking straight. You're thinking color. You're not thinking country. Because anybody who thinks country would say, no, I have to vote Philip JPA. Because I vote for any one of those opposition candidates. Is a vote for Shasta, is a vote for recklessness. And let me show you what recklessness is, Shelton. Look at number 1 policy. The removal of the 2.5 levy, ending the broken promise of temporary tax. So when you take out the 2.5 levy, which is for health and security, how will you be funding health and security? So you know what he's saying? We're going back to my wife going to be having balls at Sandals. Think about that, people. Right now, the 2.5 levy doesn't affect a lot of us because it's not on food and stuff. I mean, you might go, not even on your license. Not everybody pays that. That only brings in $33 million, you know. Not a lot of money. You're going to take that out so that your wife can go back to Sandals and have balls to buy used TVs and used microwaves for the police force. How are you going to fund healthcare? Because one of the policies says you're going to give $75,000 to every solution. Again, I'm going to ask you, how will you fund that? So you're taking out the 2.5 levy for security and health, which people are paying that, and no big thing, because I'm not even, come on. Yes, the poor, we know. But when you take it out, what is going to replace it? How are you going to replace it? How are you going to raise funds for health and security? One of your policies there, what it says, national health insurance coverage providing that includes me, $75,000 worth of annual health coverage. How? You're just throwing things out there trying to fool people. How are you going to fund that? What mechanism? Wow, I mean, that's it. I'm waiting for a response. Tell us how you're going to. Tommy and Chilot, what's his name? Titus. Tell us how you're going to fund that. $75,000 in healthcare for every solution. What's the population? 180,000. That's an astronomical figure you're looking at there, you know. Because my health insurance, that's about $300 already. Multiply 300 by 180,000. Now let's be real. Let's say 100, even by 100,000, that's a chunk of change. How? So all you see, these 2 policies there already, that is bluff. You can't fund that. So you're going to take out the 2.5 levy, $33 million. So you're going to go back to having balls. You see, you're going back, you're regressing. That doesn't make sense. $75,000 in health insurance. Up to now, you cannot tell us how. So Prudent will just go, you have cards. You say, look. Prudent, Zotbook, reckless, Zotbook fool. Next one, reduction of gas prices. How are you going to do that? We don't set gas price, you know.
Isn't that the same playbook?
Yes.
Isn't that the same playbook?
The same
that
thing.
When he gets in, he's going to sign a document because the gas prices to go down.
Man, gas price, you have to have the CIF value. Unless you know that, you cannot just arbitrarily say you're going to bring on. It doesn't work so.
It doesn't seem like this time he's using the VAT that old playbook. That one you realize that one.
Cost insurance freight. We don't determine that. Yeah. And then you have the other importers must get the cut. The dealers must get the cut, and that is standard. $1.10, $1.20, $1.05. The only thing that government has control over is a little excise tax, which is I think $2.50. So you're going to remove that. So listen to what he's saying. You know, everything that he has stated. The first 3, revenue. We're not going to get revenue. How are you going to run the country? Country needs revenue. You know. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, don't be fooled. A country needs revenue so that it can operate. So you see the things we're doing, paying, giving the nurses 5,000, 10,000. We need revenue for that. And we need a man who is skilled at handling money to do that. So this first, I read 3 things there for you, and right away you could see that's nonsensical. That is just a ploy to try to bluff you. Because we don't set gas price. We have to work the world price, CIF, the landed cost, and then the add-ons. The only thing government controls now is the 250. That's what we have. So what are you going to do?
Which is the excise
tax. What are you going to do?
You know what I find
what
about
a bluff.
you know what I find about UWP? UWP, which prides itself on being the party of business, the party that is commerce friendly, the party that is supposed to be the darling of such entities as the Chamber of Commerce. UWP has made it a practice, a habit, a bad one, of making St. Lucians believe that any dime or shilling or dollar that the government of St. Lucia takes by way of VAT or any other tax is the consummate form of evil that they are doing against the people. Do you know that the government, Labour government, of course, Philip JP administration, not supposed to take a dime from anybody? Once they do, you may shop, you sell it, your vehicle take. So you take a 2.5% health and citizen security levy, you say what it is. You saw how the situation in Viewfort got that we had to bring in the RSS to declare, an escalated crime area. You see the kind of equipment of vehicles and mobile forensic unit and mobile police stations that we have now and so on. Yet you believe the government must not extract a dime to fund those things, because nothing whatsoever. Because
your wife will hold balls.
It will.
The last solutions fighting class as usual. I'm the Prime Minister's ball. I have the shit, and they're on Facebook. Oh, Julie, have you bought your dress yet? A lot of solutions fighting class because they want to be in it. The Prime Minister there and posing for pictures.
And then for Alan Shastney to posture as if he's not an elected servant of the people. But he's some kind of benefactor. He's somebody whose benevolence is putting. The same white man thing. They come and they brutalize us, they enslave us, they colonize us, they suppress us, they downpress us, they keep us down in subjugation, and then on the rare occasion they come and they give you a little pat on the head, and you're supposed to be so grateful for that pat on the head that you're supposed to forget all the oppression and victimization and brutality. And some of us fell for it then. What is shocking me is that some of us are still falling for that fake foolishness in the 21st century.
Let's go again. The abolition of the dam dredging fee. So how are you going to dredge the dam? You're not collecting money to dredge it. First of all, y'all did it. Y'all went endless million over budget for 8% of dredging. One engineer was getting $150,000 a month. Another one was getting $125,000 a month. Another one was getting $100,000 a month. Because that direct award was so inflated that you $375,000 a month for free people. Multiply that by 12 or multiply by 24 because 2 years it took. Sheldon, you have your calculator out? You know what I mean? People. 375.
What do you want me to calculate? 375
by 24.
375
000. Yeah.
370.
375,000.
Okay, sorry. I thought you said
by 24.
All right, one second.
Yes.
375. 1, 2, 3.
That's about what? 9 million.
24 is equal to exactly 9 million.
Imagine that. That contract was so overinflated that 3 people made $9 million in 2 years. And now you're going to take out the dredging fee. Because what? You want to bluff people. You want to tell people you're paying too much money.
Dredging fee for the dam. But look at the dam. These same fellas went and they ordered equipment that never worked. There's supposed to have been some piece of equipment that's supposed to dry the dredge aggregate or still. The thing never worked. It was problematic and a whole lot of things. The same way for the landfill down in Viewfort. Didn't they buy shredders, something that's supposed to shred cardboard and so on? Did that thing ever work?
The incinerators?
Nobody was supposed to have a shredder. And supposed to have a whole lot of things that never worked and so on. These fellas were running a racket right through. Sleazy people who want to come and pretend that they're upright and they're going to correct things because there's crookedness and there's corruption. But the fellas are more sleazy than sleaze itself.
Yes. you're going to introduce the border control and the K9. We have the K9 unit, brother. Yes, $40,000, and all the fellows I spoke to, customs, police, that was too expensive. We have K9s, brother man. You don't have to reintroduce anything. It is there. We have the K9 unit. The border patrol, I'm not sure, but we have a K9 unit, okay? And it's not K9 dogs, dogs. We have the K9 unit. All right. As a matter of fact, I think last week you heard the police did some raids with the K9s. So they have that there. And the French are willing to give us again. Don't worry what people tell you, brother man. You know, they're trying all kind of scare tactics to tell the French that SLP kill dogs. SLP kill dogs? You should. I think your fellas are really ignorant. How SLP kill dogs?
Which are they talking about? Tyson?
Tyson.
Oh, Tyson. You see the whole thing about Tyson?
Yeah.
Tyson is just another attempt to hang everything that happens
yes.
around the neck of Richard Frederick.
Yes.
Is Richard the angling for?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Is Richard the gunning for? I heard something. I don't want to throw you off stride, Terry. I'm going to actually play that. I normally don't like to take clips from those fellas and play it on my program.
Right.
Because I feel what I'm doing is I'm giving things that are dead on arrival fresh oxygen. I'm wasting oxygen on it. It's dead. But you know, the sad thing about it, I heard a former deputy commissioner of police, no less. A man who's supposed by dint of experience and learning, a man who has a law degree, a man who should not be some kind of gangster who has his over the hill gangster who has his hand out.
Yeah.
You know, the pension of a deputy commissioner must be enough to keep a man going in reasonable living and so on. The man has a law degree, even if he never went to be called to the bar or anything. But this man has a body of knowledge that he can be a consultant and somebody. You know, the man is a former minister of national security and justice and so on. I actually heard Herman Gill Francis in a call sometime last week on Newspin. And it can only be that this man is trying to impress Alan Chasney that he has his back. Well, Herman Gill Francis says he's so worried, he's so apprehensive that one of these days Richard Frederick will lose it and will fire at Alan Chasney. In the parliament. No, but listen to the worst part of it.
Yes.
Richard Frederick, UWP was in office at the time when a controller of customs decided he was going to arrest Richard Frederick in broad daylight in Castries in front of everybody. Something where you could have done it, but he decided he was going to do that. Richard Frederick, without any hesitation, without any resisting or whatever, got into the vehicle between the controller of customs and a police superintendent or inspector called Emmanuel Joseph, who we know as Mano. You know, he got between them. When Richard sat in the vehicle, Mano decided, I am not I'm driving along with this guy seated by me with a firearm on him. They relieved Richard Frederick of the firearm, which it was found out was unlawful. Later on, they had to return the firearm to him, even while he was still under whatever. But the policeman on the spot said he's not feeling comfortable doing it. When Richard Frederick comes to the parliament with his firearm, you believe all that time he has been doing it. If there was anything unlawful, about it, if there was anything against the parliamentary rules and whatever that they would have allowed him to continue doing it, that the sergeant of arms would have allowed him to continue doing it. Would you not think it's something Alan Chasney would have raised, that we have a member who's coming to the parliament? But listen to that. Hang fire for a bit. But what Herman Gill is saying is that given the anger and the hostility and the animus that Richard, he didn't use those words exactly, is showing towards Alan Chasney, Herman Gill, is worried that one of these days Richard will basically lose it and he's going to shoot Alan Chasney. So they heard that now. Herman Gill says he always has his hand on his waist.
That's right.
You know, like
that's
what
I want to do.
Now, come on. Where is Herman Gill? From what vantage point? From what location is he saying that? Is Herman Gill being inside the parliament? So, if you have your hand on your waist, what does that mean, Herman Gill? That even you, as what parliament defines as a stranger, because once you're not on the floor and you're not a member, you are considered to be an outsider. They call you a stranger. You're somebody who's there, who's tolerated there, who's here, basically at the goodwill and the good graces of the speaker, but you don't have any entitlement to be here. Are you saying that in the parliament, you as a stranger, that you basically are armed, so they're allowing you in with your gun, but you have a problem with Richard, who's a member, having his gun, and then when you finish, you have your hand on your waist, so if you see Richard make one move that suggests that you're going to act, what gives you the right to even think of that? And does that not strengthen Richard Frederick's case that he should be allowed to have his firearm in the parliament? Now, if that is what you're saying, Sergeant at Arms need to watch you.
Yes.
Ex-deputy commissioner gives you no right or entitlement to be in the parliament, much less to be there with your gun. Now, secondly, are you part of Alan Chasney's security detail? Are you part of his official security detail that it becomes your responsibility, that it falls to you to react if you perceive a threat on his life? The third thing is, maybe you want to take Richard Frederick out. Are you planning on taking him out and then you're going to plead that you thought he was about to make a lethal move on the leader of the opposition? Is that what you're planning for? If you believe that Richard Frederick is planning or contemplating a lethal move on Alan Chasney with his firearm, is that your business? Is that your duty? Is that your responsibility to decide that you're going to position yourself in case he does to take him out? Is it not better for you to write a letter to the Speaker, who happens to be your brother, to tell him, dear Mr. Speaker, I am concerned that the demeanor of Richard Frederick, blah, 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 etc., etc. Alan Chasney has expressed no such apprehension himself. This is a case of someone, I am saying, adopting a yard-foul posture.
That's right.
Which you don't need to. You're a retired deputy commissioner. You're a former minister, of national security and justice or whatever it is. You are a lawyer by training, even if you may not be practicing, which you still can anyway. I hear everything you've done. You've excelled at it. You've been brilliant as a cop, as a whatever it is. I don't know about the minister part though, that your exams in law, you must have aced them and so on. You're a graduate of the Institute of Applied Science and so on. I don't know, you go police training school in Barbados, you're a brilliant man and so on. You mean that, this is the kind of statement you come in to make? You're complaining about Richard Frederick, but now you're telling us that you have your hand by your waist for what? To shoot Richard Frederick? So maybe if you want to murder Richard Frederick, that is the perfect smokescreen, that you're going to fire a shot in the parliament at that. In the parliament, you probably will fire a shot to take out Richard Frederick, where it may hit the clerk, Mrs. Montut, one darling of a lady. It may hit your own brother Claudius. It may hit somebody else, and maybe you want to hit other people to get at Richard Frederick on a hunch, on some kind of harebrained kind of theory that Richard may be doing this and to Herman Gill Francis. If that is the line, and Herman Gill is a dangerous person. Very. He should not be allowed in the parliament again after that kind of statement. That needs to be looked at. He should not be allowed there. What kind of thing is that? How irresponsible a statement and threatening and dangerous a statement that is coming from a former deputy commissioner, a man who was known to be one of, a crack cop, when I mean no crack, in terms of a cop, his capability, his efficiency, his sharpness and so on. Maybe this guy is one of the best shooters that you have in the country, if not in his time now and so on, to be making that kind of statement. Now, when you see Richard Frederick, you have your hand by your waist. Your hand by your waist for what does that mean? That we are jackasses in this country? We don't know what you mean? I am positing that statement suggests that Herman Gill is planning to take some action, possibly lethal action, against Richard Frederick on the grounds that he perceives a threat against Alan Chasney, which Alan Chasney himself has never expressed or articulated, certainly not in the parliament.
You have summed it up well, but prior to making that call, he wrote something on Facebook, and he says there is one thing he has to do before he dies. I don't want to read it, but you're right. I picked it up. He says as soon as that man he goes for his waist. I mean, this is crazy, man.
Anyway, but it's in the malway he have that he rubbing, that he massage.
Just so. You have a hatred for the man. For what?
Alan Chasney has never said to the Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the demeanor of this member opposite has me feeling uneasy. I fear for my safety. Alan Chasney has never said that. You coming up with that kind of thing.
All right. Let us continue there. Thank you. You had to get that off your chest, and I think that was very, very important. We have a few minutes before the break. So let me go. So he wants to abolish the dam dredging fee, but what will replace it? We have to. You're going to go and take loans and burden the country again with this? Come on. The recklessness of these statements there. Let's go to the other one. A man that wanted to close Alpha Lewis Community College. He is now saying that people who are going to say Alpha Lewis, they will not have to pay a cent. Me breadex. You know, I have to laugh at that because I know that's not coming from anywhere. That is just to fool people. So you go, you know, you did not, Alan boy, you didn't even want to fix toilets in the secondary school. Because you say, if the parents don't fix it, the school will not open. That is you. That is you, black hat man. You! Let me take black hat because black is beautiful. Evil hat man. You understand? You're going to give free tertiary education. Boy, let me tell you. You ain't going to see that. If that's going to happen under the SLP administration because we are the party of education. We have built the most schools, primary education, secondary education. Now we're moving to universal early childhood education. You understand? We're already giving a lot of bursaries and scholarships to SAFA. You know, first scholarships, degrees in the household. Unipass, we do all of that. So you see that tertiary thing you have in there? That is just to try to counter what we're doing. But that ain't going to happen. Okay. Pensions for farmers. Guys, listen. How are you going to finance that? At least I know Philippe J. has organized from Friday, July 18th. We put in place insurance for the banana farmers and the plantain farmers. Because you see, it's incremental steps, you know, as the money comes in. So here, Rash, so the insurance for farmers, we have that. But you want to outdo him and say, pension for farmers, how much will it cost? Who's going to pay? Because you're already moving everything that brings in income. So how are you going to, what's the outlay? How are you going to finance these pipe dreams? You understand? And the national health insurance, well, I've dealt with that already. So all of these things you have there, Alan's, découché, stale, you cannot tell us how. You just go to tell us, oh, you're going to remove the income of the state. What are you going to replace it? Balls? That's why we have passed that stage. Eh? So come with something realistic. At least the Prime Minister, for the farmers, insurance. So if there's you have support. So when you come with the pension, how much will that cost? Who is going to pay for that? You're going to go to NIC and stuff? So, I mean, you move from 5 to 7, but they're making sense. You know, it looks good, you know, no, sorry, they're looking good. Huh? You try to regulate the people, but that ain't go past, my brother. Come better than that, okay? I think we're due for another break.
Yes,
Shelton?
yes, let's take it.
Yeah.
Real Issues powered by Blue Waters with Shelton Daniel and Terry Fenelo and Jaquan at the controls. Let's take our final break, and when we come back, I'm leaving it up to Terry, as I very often do, to decide at what points we open the lines for your calls, and we'll be reading some of your messages, time permitting.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's ginger turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Another hurricane season is upon us. Make this year different. Equip yourself with a backup power generator from JH Launchers Electric. We can source and supply any size, anytime to your specifications. But the best part is we stock generators. No more long waiting and delays for your home unit. We proudly stock from 2,000 watts all the way to 26,000 watts gas and diesel generators. Automatic and manual transfer switches are also in stock. Visit JH Launchers Electrics today.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with The Real Issues at the start of another week. Today is Monday, the 8th of September, 2025. Our program continues until 2 p.m. when we have to slide out to make way for the Lotto, which comes on live. Terry Fendelon has a bit more, so we'll do that, and he'll say when he thinks, we should open the lines.
Shelton, today that was not supposed to be the angle we came to, but sometimes you have to respond to things as they come. The hot of the press, you have to do that.
I think you saw my passion get the better of me for a moment.
You had to, because that has been on my mind too. When I heard this man say he'd be going for his waist if after the leader speaks and Richard Frederick stands up, he's going for it. I mean, this is crazy, man. And this 7-point plan that these fellas have there, that they cannot tell you how they're going to fund it. Now, I'm going to study it a little more. Put some more questions, because you have to put questions to the opposition. You all come in here, you're reckless. These are reckless statements. All of these things, reckless statements. How are you going to fund that? What's your source of funding? You understand? The same way when they ask the free fella, why are you on the Shasta? He says, that's not good there. And then they ask him, how are you going to do all the things that we're going to take it from CIP. The same CIP you want to destroy.
Yes.
You see, these are the kind of fellas, they have no plan, they just want to mamaga you.
Yeah.
So they decide, guys, let's put something together and just throw it out there. But these are 7 reckless policy statements that they have made. How are you going to fund that? You understand? At least you see with the Prime Minister, he does things in a step-by-step manner until we get in there. But all of a sudden, you want to have pension for farmers? Farmers are 60 and 65. Who's going to do that? You're going to take state money and just do that? You're going to take money from them? How? Where? At least the Prime Minister is smart enough to say, no, let's get a pension plan. Put that in place.
Yes.
At least, so if not a pension plan,
Insurance scheme.
Insurance scheme.
To protect
so
banana
protect
farmers.
farmers. Now, that's a small step, $1 million, so that they'll have something in light of an event. You know, sensible, cogent, critical thinking. But there's no critical thinking in those 7 policy statements.
But that itself is a damning statement against the 2 economists that were supposed that Shasney don't need to be an economist. Once you have Tommy and Titus, the 2 T's, you know. Tommy and Titus.
Chilot and
you know,
whatever.
Once you have the 2 of them, he don't need to think. So if this is the input that they're given, if this is the policy advice that they're given to Shasney, then I'm telling you, these 2 T's, they're already dead in the water.
Dead on arrival. They're dead on arrival.
Tommy and Titus, if that is the
dead on arrival, man.
Thing about econ and whatever you're giving to Shasney, then I'm saying you're even more useless than him.
Because if you have your... Just tell me how... Let's open the lines. Shakwan?
487-9849. Real Issues WhatsApp call us on 758-487-9849. 487-9849, the mobile number on which you can WhatsApp call us. And if you prefer to use the landline, it's 4533-911. All right, so go ahead with your calls. Try to keep them tight. Try to keep them short. Give others a chance. Don't go on and on and on and on, much as we appreciate having you. But let's try to accommodate as many as possible. You're on the air.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
Not too bad. If 5 to stay alive, there was never explained. And then now you have 5, you add 2 more now, and you want to come back with 2 more called 7. And 7 does not have a beginning, neither ending. And you're telling me, okay, someone like that, who is a clown in a circus, is back to fool people to tell them 7 now to stay alive. And then when you do all that, you bring in the worst of the worst, just like yourself, putting someone in a stronghold labor in Beaufort. That before even she start to speak, she already start reaching for water with her sore throat. And then all of a sudden, never detail what she gonna do. This is so stupid for someone right now to quit their job to follow a clown in a circus on a bridge to nowhere. Have a good day.
All right, thank you very much. We have another call on the line. Hi, good afternoon. Real Issues. Hello.
How are you all doing?
Hello.
Yes, hello, good afternoon, and how are you all doing?
We're all right.
Mr. Felicien.
Phenomenal. Yes, I'm there.
How are you doing? Let's get to the nitty-gritty.
Yes.
So, since you lose the market to France, so is that the only bluff you can come out with? What market have you found? So you have not gotten a market, but you are looking for insurance. According to the Jamaicans, that not gonna work.
Nothing at all goes so.
Nothing goes so. That not gonna work. Have a good day, people.
All right.
Thank you very much. 487-9849, 4533911. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, Sheldon. Good afternoon.
Yeah, hi. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah. Shasney cannot fool nobody because nobody 75 years cannot get an insurance. So tell Shasney go back and come back again because it's nonsense alone. They were talking in Miku on Friday. Okay?
On Sunday.
So nobody 75 years cannot get insurance and Shasney cannot never pay for Louis for no children. So tell Shasney go back. We don't want him. We don't want none of the WP. What we want is Philip J. Pierre. And that is who that will be in power next year. So tell Shasney go back with all his propaganda. St. Lucian is blind again.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much. And you don't have to stack up Shasney against Philip J. Pierre. As Terry told us very much in the early days of his being with us, the tale of 2 prime ministers. One of them makes any kind of promise for him to get elected. As soon as he gets elected, Langley ka change. He never said that he was going to eliminate the whatever fees for the license or whatever. What he said was that he would eliminate the increase in the license fees, not the license fees as a whole. He was going to eliminate the VAT. but he brought down it 2.5% and he couldn't move anymore. He was going to the fuel prices, but what he does is that he increases the excise tax on the gas by 50%. In Philip Jepia, what you see is a man who's laser focused on promise made, promise kept. That's how he's focused on. This man is working and keeping every promise he made, and is in fact giving things he never promised. He's over-delivering above and beyond his promises, and is continuing to work. Tell me one place Philip Jepia has promised anything and he has defaulted on it. He has not delivered or is not working towards it, and he has gone beyond what he never promised that he sees as necessary for the people of St. Lucia. Stack these two fellows up against one another and tell me who passes the smell test of integrity, reliability, and trustworthiness. Tell me, honestly, you Flambos too, tell me, put Philip Jepia and Alan Chasney side by side, and which one is more deserving of your trust? Which one has acquitted and given the best account of himself? Weapon, sir. We have another call on the line. We have a call on the line. Real issues. Hello.
The real issue here. Hi, good afternoon.
How are you doing?
I don't know. You ask people to come check on me, and there's a long crowd of people outside of my house. So I'm crying on the inside because I'm afraid to go outside.
The book where she is my John. Who is ambulance paramedic. Tout ça calde moun bokay.
Shelton, the difference between the two men, one was raised here, one visited here.
One was what?
One was raised there, born and raised. One was born somewhere and visited here off and on. One remembers his connection to the country. The other remembers the country for his connection. Because look at what is going on right now. The man has two criminals, okay, helping him to destroy this country. And they all three were not born here. They are not native, and they don't give a crap about us. But the measured man, Philip Joseph Pierre, is connected, and he makes sure that all his policies are connected to the people who need it. He don't need us for power. He needs us so that we can help him empower us. And this is what has been happening in the last 4 years. That was PJP 1.0. PJP 2.0 is loading, and the other man will use a dead man, not the memory of the dead man, because he said the dead man will be in Miku to present his team. Okay? Don't tell me that you are not feeling all of those policies in one capacity or another for you to recognize the choice is clear. Clear. It's Philip Joseph Pierre. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Yes, couldn't have said it better than that. All right, we have another call on the line. Real issues, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me tell you. Isn't that the same guy who said he's going to remove the 2% and ultimately, you remember the word ultimately removing the entire tax?
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes.
Ultimately removing the entire tax. So we know now he's a con man. Apart from a clown, a con man. And everybody who is in the circus are parading behind him. The same man who said colonialistic or colonial has a conscience. Well, I want you to know he have no conscience. To be a con man, he's coming to con, he's coming to clown, and he's in the circus to parade. Don't be a fool. Let him and his gang be on what you call a bridge to nowhere. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. You know, everything, as Terry said, is a fuel price politics, is a CIP politics, is a visa politics. That's all this man know, you know. Oh, visa. Well, visa free. You said when we came, America would not even bother to put visa on us because they would be so confident that we will not want to stay in America because you will turn St. Lucia into such a paradise. Grin to Salusime. Grin to Salusime. Epi DSC check Tio Aking. Ojo Labs. Osa Espoir Malpa Pipe. I keep pipe dream. Nobody not see. You know. Why it ever happened? Went and injure our relationship with Venezuela where we should have built up something to work out a fuel mechanism. Refuse to tell people the truth that fuel prices are determined by the landed costs which we have no control over. You know, that Terry said. You know, is it a fuel price or the CIP you try to destroy using a foreign conman criminal called Martinez? There's another criminal, a convicted money launderer and drug trafficker called Ken Rejock, who just keeps rejocking no matter how much he say he rehabilitated. He keeps rejocking all over and over again. A criminal who spent 10 years in jail. Martinez, who took jail time in both America and in France and so on for fraud and a whole lot of other things. You using those people to try to destroy our CIP. But now the CIP, which Philip JP has used admirably to salvage a situation over at OKEU and to build what they call the fifth finger and so many other things. He's shown how we can use our CIP in a developmental way. But now you want to use CIP to fund all crazy things about insurance and you'll give everybody $75,000 quota. You know, anyway, we have another call on the line and that sounds like a doc. Real issues, you're on the air.
Shelton.
Hi.
First of all, and Terry.
Yes.
You know, Terry, I love your line today. Where you raise the cost of those initiatives these guys are proposing. And I don't think that was done in 2016.
All right.
So I think it's important, but do not do the calculations for them. We could, but keep it in an envelope. Let them come up with the figures and tell us. It is upon them to tell us what is the cost of these figures and how they're going to finance it. And under CIP, that's one of the most ridiculous things I ever heard. It is I hope Terry Descartes, I want to get him on record as saying he will recommend that they use the CIP. Because the CIP is like a lottery. You cannot plan for it. It is like a windfall. That is why the IMF has recommended you do not put it in the consolidated fund. You treat it apart. So the way Honorable Philip JPA is doing is correct. After the money comes in, he plans for it. He's not doing anything before because it's like a lottery. And then kids are found out in the hard way. Because you cannot plan too much based on projected CIP revenues. It's like me saying, when I win the Powerball, I'll build 50 houses. It is a windfall. It is subject to what you call reputational effects and other factors. And we notice that countries like St. Kitts, there has been a sharp drop in CIP revenues. So to suggest that you are going to finance your initiatives based on projected CIP revenues is one of the most ridiculous things any sane economist could come up with. And I'm suggesting that they need to come up with betterment. Tell us exactly how they're going, what is the cost of each proposal, and how they're going to finance it. Then we'll see how ridiculous they are. But I don't think we should disclose. I'm sure people in the party have already calculated the cost and waiting to release it at the appropriate time. But it is for them, the onus is on them right now to tell us exactly what is the cost of those policies. And tell them, I, Joseph Carlton Augustine, Petladi, CIP Betis. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Shelton, I just got from a very reliable source that in a few days, the town and village council court case will be proceeding. I say no more.
Okay, all right, okay. We have another call on the line. Real issues.
Hello, Shelton. Are you hearing me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, good afternoon, and good afternoon to Comrade Terry Fenelon.
Good afternoon.
Regarding Sir Arthur Louis, Shelton, and Terry, you would know better than me. You remember a lady called Professor Olivia Saunders?
Was that the lady from the Bahamas?
From the Bahamas,
yes.
Who was the principal of the Sir Arthur Louis Community College from February 2016. She was brought in under the Kenny Anthony administration. This lady was brought in to transition Sir Arthur Louis to a university. The lady sent in proposals for financing of the university, proposals for increasing tuition, and she was never given the time of day. That lady left unceremoniously. You're telling me today you're going to promise the people of St. Lucia that they will have tuition-free admission into Sir Arthur Louis? When you had 5 years and paid no attention to Sir Arthur?
Wanted to shut it down.
They wanted to shut down Sir Arthur, but also, Terry, I don't know if you're aware, they were trying to move Sir Arthur to the George Shaw Secondary School compound. And that never materialized. Perhaps that's another thing Titus might say, that the government didn't have 5 years to do. But they had that period, 2016 to 2021, to transition the Sir Arthur Louis Community College to a full-fledged university and never did it. What is different now that will cause me to believe that they can provide tuition-free admission into Sir Arthur? Where is the track record? You see, for us as St. Lucians, for us to be able to recognize truth from fake, from fiction, we need to see a track record. And this United Workers' Party administration never showed a track record in health, in agriculture, in education, in infrastructure, in nothing at all. So you see there's 7 points. Tell them maybe they use the 7 number perfection because they're really calling on the Holy Spirit to give them at least 1 seat in the next election. But they have to wheel and come again. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, thank you very much. Ignatius Jean, former government minister, former minister of agriculture, says pension for farmers. How will he pay for it? Will it be a non-contributory pension? Has he given thought to the start date, given average of farmers are nearer 60 years, retirement at 65? What is projected net benefit to the farmers? Perhaps too many questions for the Lou. I wonder if it's two economic gurus, and he ended it there. We have another call on the line. Real issues. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, real issues. You're on the air.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, what I would like to talk about is about the pension. So when Sir John was in power, we farmers try our best to see that he put a pension for us. When there were over 8,000 farmers, now they haven't got 1,000 farmers. Like you say, where that finance will be coming from? When they could have collected that money from us, either individually or collectively. Just like when they went and put the levy, for instance, every pound of banana to do feed the roads. They could have done that. But they were never interested in seeing, especially John Compton, and that's why I never supported him. I don't like him. Because he did nothing whatsoever for us farmers, nothing. Always trying to block us. Anytime we raise that issue, he always brush it aside. You know, so I was always not comfortable with that man at all. And there he is incarnated, come there and on to do this, pretend that he love farmers because he was there in a farming community.
Yeah.
Them wicked man must will and come again.
Yeah, I'm sure you will remember a veteran farmer, one of the most successful banana farmers from Mico. Joseph Gustav was his name. but the nickname by which he was known by most was Pelagie. Pelagie fell out with Compton, and he told me so, sitting in my office at the Star newspaper, which was on the John Compton Highway at the time. You know, that was one of the most diehard UWP and John Compton supporters, a personal friend. That one of the reasons he fell out with Compton was Compton would not hear anything about putting a pension scheme for farmers. He, as an old man, look, he's old now, he has spent all his life, and he has nothing, you know, to look forward to except what he had accumulated in terms of it all, you know, a banana scheme. Pelagie told me that. You know, not I heard him tell it. He said that to me.
I'm 66 this year, you know. I'm 66 this year. I should be getting my pension because I man work hard enough in banana, you know, to see that the country go forward and not we farmers get nothing, absolutely nothing at all.
Yeah.
So them fellas just coming to try and dramatize the people, you know.
Okay.
Have a good day, my brother.
Thank you very much. And that's just about
our people.
Okay. Yeah. That's just about right on
the button.
On the button and on schedule, because it's turning 2 o'clock right now. Thank you so very much, Terry Fenelon. I think we had another great one today.
Unplanned.
It was high octane.
You know, just went in that direction.
Yeah, full of energy.
Spontaneous.
Yes. Thank you very much, Jaquan, for another superb job at the controls. Enjoy the rest of your Monday afternoon, everyone. And we appreciate your always sharing, you know, a portion of your day with the real issues. We shall be back same time tomorrow, 12:30 to 2 on Real FM Radio, NBC Television, Facebook, and YouTube live streaming. Shelton Daniel for the Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters, signing out.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients.